gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure. You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me?
Yeah.
Like kit?
With
like,
kitten.
Okay.
Kittens, like kittens.
All right. This is an episode of Talks and Sips. You gotta be kidding me. Scene 1, take 1. Oh, wait. See, I'm not like a camera.
Is this included?
Yeah.
You put this in?
Yeah.
Let's not use that name.
Okay.
Let's go with a better name.
See, he's like, mistakes were made.
I thought this was, okay.
Okay.
Let's think of a name.
I told Josh Chillin with Dillon, and he's like, but people aren't going to know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, you're right, though.
I think that's great. Wait, what do you mean people aren't going to know it? Because it says Dillon? Because they don't know my name?
Right.
Well, they will.
All right, we're going to go for it. It felt right. It felt right. Okay.
That was your gut. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. This is an episode of Talks and Sips, Chillin' with Dillon. Scene 1, take 1. All right, guys. I haven't been in this room in a while, and it shows. So here we go. Welcome to Talks and Sips, where fun is the best chaser. I am your host, Jayfoxx, helping you learn and laugh along the way. While you go through ebbs and flows this week, who knows what you're dealing with. Grab your favorite bevies and get ready to hear some informationally funny 411 on today's show. Psst, psst, hey.
Huh?
Hey.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Nothing much.
You want to small talk me, or what do you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I just found this place.
You just stumbled in here?
I just stumbled in here.
Really?
Do you own this place?
There's like 2 doors. Hell no, I don't own this place. I ain't got that kind of money.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. It's
Yeah, no, it's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't go to jail for being in here.
Yeah.
Would this be considered trespassing?
I don't know, but we've been here for an hour setting up, and nobody's come in yet, so I think we're good.
I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parking enforcement's outside. Maybe they'll come in.
Holy moly, there was a squadron out there.
Mm-hmm. There's a parade going on.
It's a sad parade. People love parades. Anyway, at one point, comics were poets. Did you know that?
Comics were poets.
Comics were once poets.
Okay.
So when tragedy and comedy arose, poets wrote one or the other, according to their natural bent, of course. Those of the graver sort who might previously have been inclined to celebrate the actions of the great in epic poetry. So like, yes, my Sir, give me a name, any name.
Charlie.
Sir Charlie is great and epic, and he kills boars and da-da-da-da. But they would always, without a doubt, lead to tragedy. Mm-hmm. Just like any movie you watch, right?
Yeah.
Right? So apparently that's where the structure came. So poets of lower type, however, and this is really fucked up that they say, poets of a lower type who had set forth the doings of ignoble, such a weird word, ignoble, in incentives turned into...
What does ignoble mean?
I actually looked this up.
I don't know what that means.
It's such a funny word, ignoble. Watch. Ignoble.
Ignorant of some sort?
It's not honorable in character or purpose.
Okay.
And so basically, they would write, and what would happen is that they would turn to comedy. So instead of grabbing that tragic moment and like making like heroism out of it, it was like, nah, this is dumb. We're dumb. So it was considered not honorable for you to do that. So that's why you were the comedian.
I see.
Anyway, and just like that, wow, that was the longest quick intro walking that we've ever done, but that's okay. And just like that, bitches, you have already learned something with us here at Talks and Sips. But before we introduce you to our awesome guest, you guys know I love to do a jingle because it's my Weird Al dream. Oh my God, one day, you know how the basic bitches be like, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest Weird Al one day in this studio, or maybe a better one.
We don't know who works here because as we established, we just stumbled into this place. Weird Al could own this building.
What if
Weird Al just stumbled in here right now?
What if it's his spirit in me right now for this future jingle?
I can see it.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Do
you have the jingle?
I have the jingle. Please hold. It's here on my desktop. You guys, I finally got it. So half the jokes in this show have been that, like, I have been using the same cute little laptop forever. This one, this laptop, and poor guy. He's done his best, but I finally got a better computer. So now I'm like, I think I can retire you. You can be like notes and emails. I don't need to make you a powerhouse editing machine anymore.
I brought today with me. I don't have it on me. It's in my car, but it's a 2014 MacBook Air, and it's a struggle bus for sure.
I respect.
Yeah, but it's what year is that?
This is a 2016 MacBook Pro.
Yeah, and it's probably it's slow, right?
It's slow, but it's a little machine.
Yeah, but it gets you there.
It's a little guy.
Yeah, it's
as long as you have something, right?
True.
You could be using a Windows. Oh, don't come for me, PC people. All right, so here we go. This is a jingle. He's a good boy. Came from Maryland, tells funny jokes and acts them out too. He's a good boy who's crazy about jesting, loves his fellows. But if you add an extra I in his name, he will fucking kill you. Ooh. Ooh.
I thought you were going to do the version from the live show that you came and saw. The live show that we did recently, or that I did recently.
What?
That's that we did a cover of that song.
Holy
As
shit!
a German man singing, she's a good girl, loves die Mutter, loves Jesus.
Was that the show that Josh and I went to see?
Yes,
you?
it was the one that you remember the carrots sketch?
Oh, the carrot sketch made me so happy.
Yeah, so I came out at the end of that sketch. Well, maybe we should say that I write sketch comedy.
Oh, who are you? Guys.
I write sketch comedy.
Who the fuck is this guy?
In LA. I'm in a sketch comedy team, Elephant Department. Jess came and saw a show of mine that we put on in May. It was a great time, and one of the writers in our team wrote this absurd, surreal sketch about a bunch of sentient carrots who realize that they're going to be thrown into a juicer and they're going to die.
They're like, no.
They're like, yeah, they're no, and they're German. I don't know why they were German, but it was hilarious.
They were German.
And in an earlier version of this sketch, the writer Jens, he was like, I want it to end with one of the carrots running to freedom to escape the juicer to the song. I think it was Yes, I'm Changing, but like a German version of it. So like, yes, I don't even know how it would work for that, but like, yes, I'm changing. Yes, I know. I don't know. Can't do that. But the lyrics didn't quite work. So we stepped into a studio to record the song, and then I came up with let's do Free Falling, because it was funnier to translate to a German accent.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I could do it right now.
Wow. Can we?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
If I can remember off the top of my head.
I'll just like kind of be your harmonies in the background.
Okay, so we changed, just for context, we ended up changing the script. The carrots fall to their deaths, and then they're spinning around in a blender as me, German Tom Lennon. Oh, geez, what's his name? What's the singer's name? And I'm embarrassing myself.
Which one?
Who sings that song?
Oh, Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Yeah.
Tom Petty comes out. Hello, this is me, German Tom Petty. She's a good girl, loves die Mutter, loves Jesus, and Germany too. She's a carrot, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her Schatzen too. And then there was a second verse, but I will refrain. I think honestly, I don't know if I could remember it. But.
Dude, that's amazing. I don't know why, because I don't really plan too hard when I think of making the guest jingles. I just go, okay, what do I know about them?
Yeah, where did you pull that from?
Inside of my soul somewhere, okay? Like,
yeah.
I just, because I'm sure, because what was it? You were with Josh yesterday.
Yes.
And I was like, I need you to ask him this and this and this. He's like, he's busy right now. I'm like, babe, ask him.
And what were those questions?
And I was just like, I need to know, like, what fucking irritates him? Like, where's he from? Does he have pets? What's funny to him? Like, what's his favorite color? Like, the most minute thing, because then I go, okay, I'm going to write this jingle.
And it's so funny that you pulled that song.
And it's funny because you guys wrote that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys didn't write, that was Tom Petty. But you guys wrote your version for your sketch, your comedy sketch.
Tom Schmetty, whatever his name was. We took the song and made it better. Can I say that?
Well, you had carrots that were dying in a blender, so I would say yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Does he have dying carrots?
No.
No.
He's just talking about. Actually, that song is super creepy.
Is it?
Yeah. No. Well, maybe the music video.
Oh,
Can I tell you what happens in the music video?
Yeah, because I've never seen it.
So Tom Petty is peeking in on a 16-year-old girl's birthday party as he's singing that song. Very cringe.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's pedophilia. No, we're not gonna. Nope. I'm not throwing any shade. I'm not gonna. Nope. I'm not. Anyway, moving on. Your name is Dillon.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, can I talk to you for a second, Jess?
Yeah. You want to off camera?
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Okay, yeah.
my name.
I don't appreciate
my name
being
is.
slapped off camera.
Whoa. Okay, if anything was a little tap.
Okay.
Okay, this is too much. No, my name
is Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart.
Stewart.
Okay. Say my name. Say my name. Say my
Say
name.
my name, say my name. If no one is around you,
Say, baby, I
love
love you.
If you ain't running game, say my. Beyonce was like, I'm out. We can't. I know everyone bumps it. It's okay. Don't feel bad. Oh, this is Dillon's first time, which is crazy because you've been behind the camera, you've been in front of the camera, you've written for the camera, you've been on the stage, but you've never been in a podcast studio.
I've never been in a
space.
podcast. Taking my podcast virginity. As you said.
I'd be taking them from all the people.
What'd you say? Podcast cherry pop?
Yeah. Podcast
Cherry pop.
It
sounds like a
soda pop.
Are you an energy drinking person?
I'm not.
No?
No.
Are you familiar with the brand Alani?
No.
That's not what I'm drinking today, by the way. And then this is not
What
a
are you
sponsor.
drinking today?
I'm drinking, I was thinking about drinking caffeine because, it's 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. We did discuss maybe making some mimosas.
Vodka choices.
Yeah, but we decided that we wanted to save our Sundays.
I have a very long day. I'm sure you do too.
I actually am drinking a cold pressed juice that I picked up from 7-Eleven.
Oh, classy. The one down the street?
No, this is the one by my house, but this is kind of a sort of a preamble to, I'm not sponsored by this juice.
It's okay.
But it's at 7-Eleven. And it is one of the healthiest drinks that I have found
At a
anywhere.
7-Eleven?
Anywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. Can I show this on camera?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the drink, cold pressed or cold organic. I know that doesn't mean very much, but cold organic pressed juice, flash pasteurized. I don't know what that means. Clean and green.
Clean and green.
I'm stalling, but let's look at the ingredients. It's organic kale juice, organic cucumber juice, organic apple juice, organic spinach juice, organic mint, organic celery juice, organic lemon juice, and then just regular parsley juice.
Was this a $30
No, just kidding. It's
beverage?
organic. No, it is 2 for $5.50. And it's all cold pressed, and you have 6 grams of protein. It's very pulpy, so if you're not a big pulpy person.
Not a big pulpy person.
Okay, well then let's move on.
All right. I'm having, because we are well into basic bitch season, I'm having a pumpkin cold brew.
Yummy.
Yummy. Out of my awesome pothead.
My favorite Spice Girl.
I didn't care for the Spice Babies. I know. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. It wasn't my shit. I was growing up listening to like Alice in Chains, and like, it was
Because you're into, that makes sense. You said earlier you're into horror. I feel like that works.
So I wasn't like, I let my sisters be into all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were saying before we started something about how the star is faded, right?
Yeah, the star has totally faded.
Like accessibility has just become everything. I just mean that you can hop on Twitch, you can hop on whatever and develop your small pocket of fans. This conversation had come up because we were discussing like having like a parent talk to their friends like, oh, I've got a son in the industry and he's working in the film, and they're like, oh, is he working? Is he working with Harrison Ford yet or whatever?
And because their knowledge of the star is almost outdated, right? The further that way you go. Were you from Maryland?
Maryland, yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's such a. First of all, how long have you been in LA for?
5 years. I came up with a 5-year plan. 5-year plan, and I did not make it.
It's okay.
But the pandemic happened.
People don't.
I don't count that year.
Yeah, I feel like that was our version of the blip.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was our blip.
We came back 2 years later, just like, oh my God.
What do we do?
What happened?
I know, just like this podcast. I wasn't podcasting before the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was my podcast baby.
There were so many like podcast babies creatively. So many, I mean, the podcast, the pandemic was a lot for many different people, of course, but like a lot of the creative people that I know that were just hold inside.
They were holding back. They were held inside. You couldn't go out. But I feel like before the pandemic, something crazy happened, right? So we were on this, and I keep saying it's like a rat race out here in LA, especially now, because I've gone to travel in different parts of the world, and they have their rhythm. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't traveled a lot of the U.S. yet up until last year. And so between last year and this year, I've gone out and visited different states. And I was like, wow, how have I seen different countries or more countries than I've seen like the states within the country I live in, right? So I was like, I need to come in and I feel like a lot of our judgment and a lot of our perception is under the lens of what we see directly on like on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And so if you're not like seeing how other people are living, then you can't like have empathy or even just like space for other opinions and perspectives, right?
Totally.
With that being said, you're gonna see a lot less people out there like trying to, you know, like I said, get clout, trying to like, I'm gonna be famous because of this, right? Where here it's like every other person's like, I'm a this, I'm a that. Like I podcast. Who doesn't? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but here the difference is that here I feel like there's a lot of impulsive decisions that take place, and not enough longevity and consistency, right? Because then once you start putting in the work, you're like, oh, this is going to take a lot of my free time. Do I want it? The work-life balance ratio? Do I want to give that to this? I don't know, and that's why a lot of creative projects fall out here too.
Yeah.
But does that mean, all right, if the star is fading, which it is, right? Because there's so many ways to be popular, to be hired on, like TikTok famous now, YouTube famous, Instagram famous, like these people are, you know, the one I think of the most is it Paul Logan, who has a podcast?
Logan Paul.
Or is it
Logan Paul, the Paul brothers, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see how much I care.
Suicide Forest? Like, I don't know if I shouldn't say that.
You can bring it up. I mean, he went to
He's just
somewhere
a sketchy person.
Right. But like, is he going to eventually come out in a movie? Probably. He
has made some really like low budget stuff that I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
So anyone and everyone can kind of make shit as long as you have a camera and like it's done well.
Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't even have to be done well, and it like does well. It's so bizarre.
All this accessibility too. I think the goal should always be to just make what you want to make with people that you like making it with, and the pursuit of fame is just I don't know. I don't want to get on a soapbox or anything.
It's okay. It's having a medium to be yourself, to express yourself, but to be authentic. And like, I think that's the biggest part. Like, do what you want, but like, be yourself and be real about it. You know what I mean? And don't go out like stealing people's shit, you know? So yeah, there's many ways to be creative. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, then it should just be fun, and everything else comes with it, I think, on the back end. But if you're pursuing it to become like, I don't know, fucking famous,
whatever your end goal is, it's also, you're never going to achieve that. We talked about 5-year goals. I moved out here with a 5-year goal, and what's more important is that you have that goal and that you're doing something towards that goal, and you're not probably going with a 5-year goal, 10-year goal, whatever, you're not going to reach that, or if you do, fantastic, but it's the point of having, it's the journey of getting there, and it's every step along the way. Authenticity is what's going to draw people in more than anything else, no matter what you're doing, if it's drama, if it's comedy or whatever. If you can like sit there, stand on stage, look at the audience, or stand in front of a camera and like look into somebody else's eyes and act and feel that energy with that person and really push the cameras out. So, like, I moved out with this very limited perspective of what the film industry was. It was not that way at all, constantly failed. And you just adjust and hold that goal in your mind when you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, and then you go to work and you sit and you be present and you make what you're making, and you have that creativity or just work authentically with the person in front of you, and that you're creating a certain type of energy, and that's what will really draw people in more than, I don't know, it's just the pursuit of fame. It's like being present. It's like meditation. It's like you can't think, I'm going to be present now.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that's great. I love that you're saying that, you know, you got to be present. You got to be present. Because I feel like on my end, I fail at that often. Not necessarily, I used to operate very autopilot-ish, you know. It's not like that anymore. I've found myself many times to operate on autopilot in the past when I was not really self-aware. And now I'm like, okay, I really want to get to this place in my goal. And I feel like that comes from, because we learn things as kids, you know, and so we have to retrain our minds as adults if there's like toxic things that we carry, right, as kids that we've learned. And so for me, since I was a kid, I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, I've always had this mindset of like, I need to hit this milestone. And it's like, bitch, just enjoy the journey. Like, it's fine. Like, it's cool. If you get there, cool. If you don't, cool. But just do your best and enjoy the journey, right? And so I love that you're saying that, because it's like, be present, because it almost feels like for me, like, oh, okay, yeah, he's right. Like, bitch, be present. Like, be present. And so there's times, and this sounds really silly.
But a positive. Go on.
No. I'm just saying, like, in the morning, I'm like, all right, I'm brushing my teeth. All right, I'm thinking about stuff. I'm at the gym. This fucking sucks, but I'm here.
Yeah. Just fight through, but you got to be kind to yourself too. That's, I mean, when you said, what did you say? You were like, just get through it. You're like, oh, God damn it. Like, just get through it. Like, be present. But that's only in an encouraging way. Like, you can't do it. You can't be hard on yourself because you're never going to be present all the time. It's just never going to happen. You're going to be pulled out of the moment all the time, and you just have to
so many distractions.
nudge yourself back. You just have to nudge yourself back, especially nowadays. With the mind that I have, ADHD. ADHD is out the window now, I heard.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's just a
inappropriate
spectrum. No, I don't know about inappropriate, but it's just now a lot of mental health stuff is moving to a spectrum system instead of like you have ADHD, which is a version of ADD or whatever. You have ADD, it's a version of this hyper whatever. It's one thing that you have a spectrum of. And even ADD is it's a complete misnomer because it's not an attention deficit issue. It's an attention control issue.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes total sense, actually.
Is you have it too? Is that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No, I just think I'm high energy.
Well, I'm constantly like pulled, and that's where I start operating on autopilot is when there's just like a million things going on.
It's like sensory overload.
Sensory overload, and you just kind of smile and wave, get through it, and just, you know, whatever, and it's tough to get out of that cycle, and it's easy to be hard on yourself and try and slap yourself in the face and be like, be present. But
I want to. It's funny that you're saying slap yourself because later on I'm going to.
Because earlier I slapped you off camera.
Off camera, it still kind of hurts, but you know what? It's fine. Maybe I deserved it.
Well, what's the 1, 2, 3? So I slapped you, and then I said slap. So what's the third button?
Oh, the third button. I'll show you later.
Wait, you just brought up another slap?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna slap me back?
No, I'm showing you a slap.
Okay, show me the slap.
No, I'm gonna show it to you later.
What the heck?
Just wait for it.
Stop.
Be patient.
You're right.
I really want to hear about how you decide, as a boy from Maryland, to come to California, probably by yourself, probably with a little bit of money, who knows? And like, how's your mom react to that? And like, what kind of, like, what encourages being out here with like the crazy people?
I have a piece of ice in my mouth.
That's okay. Wait, do it for the ASMR people.
Okay. I gotta get another piece of ice. I can't do it. So you asked me, how did I move out here?
Yeah, like you came out here 5 years ago, didn't meet your 5-year plan, which is totally cool. That's
Jesus. Okay.
Crunchy crunch.
Sorry.
Captain Crunch over there.
First time on a podcast, I'm doing everything you shouldn't do.
It's okay.
We left camera.
We did leave camera.
We left our headsets.
And it's like, some people just listen to this, so it's confusing. It's just going to be a gap.
Probably.
Like, why is there no, what?
You have to release 2 versions. This is my plan, just to get more exposure. 2 different versions.
Nah, we don't do that here.
You know what time?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I got a full-time job outside of this.
Okay, well, to answer your question, why did I move out here? I always loved film. Was always super fascinated with film. One of my favorite movies. I'm not like a Nolan bro, you know, Christopher Nolan bro type, but
no,
Memento.
You're what's the guy who does fuck.
Edgar Wright?
No. Someone the one who does all the Transformers movies.
Michael Bay? You're about to compare me to
No,
Michael
I'm
Bay?
not comparing you to Michael Bay, but I was going to make the joke like, you're like, I lived in Maryland. I love films, especially the Michael Bay ones that go boom. I was so inspired. I had to be there for that.
What if that's, let's just rehearse that. So, yeah, I'm a boy from Maryland. I really just love film, and I love Michael Bay's movies, the ones that go boom.
Tell me more. Did you watch Ambulance? Oh my God.
No, Ambulance.
It was bad.
Ambulance.
It was.
Was it? Why was it bad?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, let's forget about it. I was talking about Christopher Nolan, who makes some good movies. Mm-hmm. Memento, love that movie. Mm-hmm. Love its complexity. I love high concept stuff. But I had never, except for in middle school, made a couple of like really bad Star Wars movies with my buddies, you know, in the backyard and stuff like that. Bad just because middle school.
Duh.
But I have the DVDs. I got to go back and watch them. But I didn't have any experience. And honestly, I was just lazy when it came to college applications. And I heard a buddy of mine who talked about JMU, which was a college in Harrisonburg, Virginia, that their dad went there. And I was like, oh, sure. I looked it up. they had a musical theater program because I come from a background of musical theater and doing live theater. And I was like, I'll audition for this school. And it was the only school I auditioned for as a musical theater major. And I got accepted. I was arguably the worst in the class, musical theater wise, because I had no experience. Like the first class that I walked into, I had to sing a song. I sang through a little bit of it, and then I didn't know how to read sheet music, and I just like the pianist is playing, and I just like turned to my teacher, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the whole class was just like, this guy does not know what he's doing.
They're like, it's because he's tall, huh? You guys let him in the program because he's tall? Okay.
Tall problems.
Like tall elitism. I hate it. They just give me shit for free.
Tall, right?
Because I'm how tall are you? 6'2"? 6'3"?
6'2".
Oh, it's just such a hard life up here.
So hard. The clouds.
I get so lightheaded.
The smog in LA floats right in my...
I mean, when you walked in here, you almost stepped on me. It was rude.
I'm so sorry about that. And then I was just struggling in the theater program. Wasn't really finding my niche there as much, but I loved the people there. And I, through like a Facebook group, heard about a short film that somebody had to recast. They recast a role. I did my first short film, and it clicked for me. Like I was stepped on that set, and I was like, this is what I want to do.
You knew when camera angles were like, I'm sorry, you knew when cameras were like pointing at you, you know, how to block the, like you understood all that immediately or? Okay.
No, that's not what I mean. It clicked in the sense I was like, I love this.
Oh, I see.
This is what I want to do. No, I didn't know anything. And the journey of my acting on camera has been like this. That first film I did pretty well. I think maybe because of my lack of experience, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, whatever. But then I started getting in my head and I started doing more short films, and then you get onto a set and you're like, camera.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna be sad. You know? So I have some like cringe short films out there,
Love it.
Yeah, you know, it's part of the journey. And I did 3, maybe 4 short films in college, junior and senior year, and then through that met a couple people that were gonna move out to LA, and the 3 of us, I drove out pretty much by myself from Maryland to LA. And then they had already moved out, and the 3 of us lived together for the first year, 2 years.
How was your family? What was your family's response to that? Like, you're crazy, like, go get it, son. Like, how does that even, what?
Oh, they replaced me.
Oh, there's a whole.
With a dog. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No,
No,
that's fair.
It also, I think it helped that I had a good jumping off point. Like from graduating college, I've also been always very determined.
Yeah,
and
you didn't seem aimless to them.
No, it was not aimless at all.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, this feels right to me. And I was able to like look my parents in the eye and be like, I'm doing this. And they were, a few of the conversations were like, why not New York? Like, you studied musical theater, go to New York. That's where all the theater is. Or go to Chicago, that's where the theater is. And I was just like, I don't know. I just feel like this is the right call. And they're like, okay, we're going to get a dog and replace you.
And he's going to get your room. And you know what? We're not even going to call you anymore. This is easier. Just go.
I would, yeah. And I would come back and visit, and my bed would just be covered in fur.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I also have 3 younger sisters. I have 3 younger sisters and an older half brother. So I have a lot of siblings. So it wasn't, I think if you're an only child or you've like 2 kids in the family, there's a little bit more of like no, don't go that far away.
Yeah.
But FaceTime and all this
technology.
Where technology is incredible these days.
It's great. Look at this room. Okay, so that's awesome. And so now you've been here for 5 years, and you end up with a sketch comedy group. You end up writing some stuff. I think you filmed some stuff recently.
Yeah, we did.
What's all that?
Okay.
How do you even link up with these people?
How did I link up with these people? So most of them come from USC. One of the people in the group was at JMU in Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And then they knew somebody in the group a couple years back, and then through that got into the group. And then through her, I stage managed one of their live shows very last minute, and that's kind of how I met all of them.
Awesome.
And at that point, I had already been writing my own sketch material. Something happened 2019, summer 2019. It was 2 years that I had been out in LA. By that point, I had gone through the I'm in a new city struggle bus of I don't even know what south of Wilshire means. And then watched, of all things, I Think You Should Leave by Tim Robinson, his show.
Yeah.
Are you familiar?
Yeah, Josh, of course.
Well, it's ridiculous. It's an absurd comedy show. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I love it. This is ridiculous. I can do this. And at that point I had established enough relationships with people and enough people who also wanted to make their own stuff. I just sort of fell into comedy. I did not think that that's what I wanted to do. I grew up watching like Breaking Bad, and I was like, I want to be Jesse. I want to be a serious actor. But comedy is just easier to produce, and I don't have like connections in this industry, so it's just easier to make that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had already been working on comedy from 2019 through the pandemic, made a pandemic web series, comedy pandemic web series, Pandemic Baby, made it all in the apartment and stuff like that.
Love it.
And then last summer, the group I'm in now had some changeover. They were looking for new members, and one of the people in the group that knew me was like, hey, you should apply.
Oh.
So I sent in 5 sketches, sent in my acting reel, which it's so, I don't know if serendipitous is the right word, but it was so, I don't know, clandestine? I don't know what it is, but it's just like, when I moved out here, I had no comedy material in a reel or anything like that. It wasn't even
like your shit at the time.
No, at all. And then I even remember like the first or second year that I was out here, I was like, oh, now I have one sketch, and I had like a comedy reel, which was just one scene. By the time I submitted for this group, I had like, a 3-minute reel of 4 or 5 comedic things that I had produced with other people outside of that group.
I'm more curious about how one learns how to start writing a sketch, how you had to gain that skill set somewhere in that 5-year span. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to get into this group. So how does that come about?
There was no format when I had started. There was no like, I didn't know what structure was. I didn't really know like what a screenplay format writing wise looked like. So the first sketch that I had written out here and produced was when my buddy moved out. We were just sitting in the kitchen joking. We came up with this funny joke. Like, let's write this. It's absurd. Let's write this, pull up a Google Doc, and then we just went line by line on a Google Doc. Like, This is your line. This is my line. This is your line. This is my line. That's just how it started. It was just like jump straight to making the content. All that other stuff will come with time. And it did. And now I know how to format a sketch better. Like, the first year or two that I was writing sketches, most of my sketches were like 6 or 7 minutes, which are terrible for YouTube, terrible for like watchability, too long, overwritten, arguably. And I don't know, just sticking with it. Once you kind of develop the habit, then you can challenge yourself and go, okay, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to learn how to format this better. And But to answer your question about how do I go from drama to comedy, I think this is like unpacking a lot. I don't know, but I think trauma, like just needing to digest the trauma.
Yeah.
There's just a lot in my life that has happened growing up, and then had just a crazy 2019. A lot of stuff just kind of piled up to a point where I was in LA for 2 years at that point. I was like, I really am not I'm not really meeting that 5-year goal right now. I need to.
Yeah, to come to God moment, to come to you,
coming to
moment.
the creative, coming to Muse moment.
Yeah.
Muse.
Comment.
Needed to just make something. Like I just had to make something. And I don't know why comedy, that it was just easier to produce, and probably easier for people to watch. And I didn't have contacts out here, so it was like, I need to just make stuff and turn it over. Just need to make content, turn it over. Mm-hmm. I could spend a year on a drama, or I could spend a month on a comedic sketch and put it out. And
I feel like with comedy, people are a lot more forgiving. It's a lot more palatable. People want to laugh, right? When it comes to drama, it's like we're a little bit more picky.
Yeah.
It has to be precise to us. And if it's not, then we're like, what is this garbage? You know, we're harsher in our judgment, I think, if it's not like easy to digest.
Yeah. So on a technical element too, like we can make a comedic sketch that has a terrible sound, which were some of the first ones that I'd worked on, and even some of the ones that I do now. Just sound is a whole other deal that you need to figure out and have a good sound guy. And I'm sure sound is expensive on a film shoot.
Absolutely.
Because it's like just a very specific thing, and it has to be correct. Like
You
if it's
have a
not correct,
swole
people aren't going
dude
to buy
just
it.
there for hours holding a pole with the mic on the other end. You think we'd figure that one out by now?
You would think.
But we're still here.
We're still here. We're still paying them $500 a day.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
So with comedy, it's people. You're right. People are more forgiving. Like you can watch a comedic sketch, but the sound quality isn't quite right.
Yeah.
But if you try to make something dramatic
And it
the sound
doesn't
quality
sound
isn't
right.
there, you're completely disconnected, and people are.
You're taken out of the story. You
Mm-hmm.
can't get sad. You can't get angry. You can't feel whatever emotion they want you to, the emotion that's being conveyed. You can't like absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is something that you feel goes underappreciated with what you guys do as sketch comedy writers? Or that people just don't understand, or that you would like to make people privy to?
It's not all. It's
Hee
not
hee ha
all.
ha?
Yeah, it's not all laughs and games all the time. We have meetings every week, and our meetings are filled with a lot of fun and games, like fun and games, just improv with one another. Like we
Yeah.
are all like to have fun and laugh with one another. We get down to business. It is business. It's sort of surreal because like we will have very serious conversations about like, did this joke work, or did this, or like when we tried to make the carrots sketch, do we really think that people are going to buy that Tom Petty is going to walk out and be German?
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous conversations, but in a very like serious business format.
And that makes total sense because you're opening yourself up to constructive criticism, which is really
Yeah.
scary because you're like, I have it here where people are like, hey, my sisters, I'm like you said, I'm also one out of 6, right? So I have 3 older sisters who look at me like you're insane, and 2 little brothers that are like, yeah, you're weird. You know what I mean? Especially because none of them work in entertainment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're like, so one of them, she's like, I've been listening. I think you have to stop saying like so much. And you're just like, I just did it. God damn it. So, and different things like that. But you need that, right? You
Yeah,
need the
absolutely.
correction because sometimes there's a perspective on the outside that you're not getting. And so it helps. It's helpful. It just kind of hurts your ego a little bit. And so in that way, I think it's really funny because you guys are writing the stuff and people think, oh, they're just having a good time all the time. Like, no, there's preparation, there's repetition, there's like, oh, this isn't going to land, and then you have to kind of take that like, oh, I thought I was funny. I guess I'm not that funny.
You have to get past that
Right.
quickly.
Yeah.
You just move on and just make another sketch.
Wow.
That thought crosses my mind every meeting. Every meeting that I'm in is just like,
All right.
pitch this idea.
And they're like,
They're like, nah, it's not, no, I don't like it. And I'm like, but I wrote this for an hour or 2 last night and I thought it was hilarious.
like, you're not as funny as you think. You're like, I know, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that because it's so honest and pure, and it's only going to help you get better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not math. Like you're making something creative. You're pulling something that doesn't exist into existence. And when you're on a team, we have 8 people on our team that are performers and then 2 writers that write for us.
Oh, nice.
You have to accept that. I don't know. It's just like you're not going into a meeting and being like, here are the statistics. Like you can't, and something you can't really argue with. You can't argue with statistics, but you have a creative vision that you're trying to create from nothing. And so you're going to get a ton of pushback. You have to be receptive to that. You have these very serious conversations of like, I think this is really funny. And then the person's being like, yeah, no, I don't think that that's good. And you can't argue with that.
Right.
You can't argue with that. You just have to go, okay, they just don't think it's funny.
All right. On to the next.
Yeah. I'm going to be real cringe real quick.
Do it.
There's a quote there's a quote from, I can't remember his name. He's some sort of big theater guy, which was just dared to fail gloriously because you're daring to put yourself out there. I don't even know if I love that phrase because it almost feels like the goal is to fail, which should not be the goal. The goal is not to fail, but you're daring to put yourself out there. You know you might fail, and it's going to be glorious when you do because you put it all out there.
I love that for him.
I love that
us.
for the theater world.
The theater world. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's really cool, man.
That's so cool.
All right. I love to do this. I love to look at different things on the internet because I feel like the internet is just a gift that keeps on giving.
Totally.
It could be hecka evil, and it could be malicious place if you're...
You like Bo Burnham's Inside?
No.
Seen it? You haven't seen it?
No.
Okay, well, you gotta check it out.
Yay!
But I was just
After
listening to
this.
his song on the internet, which you have to listen to, but you need
Send
to
me
listen to
links.
it.
Send me links. Send
I'm
me
sure
links.
many people that are listening to this right now know it.
Good.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look around. It's kind of haunting. It's a creepy. It's kind of a horror.
Can we
song,
put it?
honestly.
Can we put it like in a haunted house, maybe?
You absolutely could.
Ooh.
An internet-based haunted house.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow, we're pitching this. Universal, we need a spot in the back lot for this. You need to grant this right now.
That's totally not too broad of a concept.
No, not at all. It's not niche. I mean, what is it? It's lacking in niche, but that's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you like the internet.
I like the internet, and here's the internet to you, my friend. And so I always think, like, how do you like hold your composure? So we're just gonna watch a few clips of really funny moments in scenes that obviously were edited out to keep you in the story. And in this case, we have.
My daddy want to cut a bullet by his bare hand. No bullshit.
Yo, George! What's up?
These movies are my favorite, by the way.
What's good with you, B? What's good with you, B? What's really good, baby? Huh? What's good with you, man?
Like, that's Kevin Hart's physical comedy here.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's very physical.
And he's so tiny and so
Yeah.
fun. But, like, how do you keep, when it's so funny like that in the moment, how do you keep it together to stay in the scene?
That's funny you asked that because I was so bad at that as an actor, even with drama, because I would be in a scene and it would be surreal to me. I was way too in myself, if that makes sense. So like one of the common lessons that you learn in acting school is what is acting? And there's obviously many answers to that, but one of the answers was acting is reacting, which just means you're putting your focus on your partner and you're trusting your partner. And so I approached acting for a long time from the perspective of like, or, you know, comedy or whatever, from like, I just need to express myself. I need to express myself. Like I want to put myself out there to perform or whatever. It's a common like kind of first place to start as a performer.
This is acting 101.
Yes, well it is. And I think that's totally fine. That's a common place to start, but you put yourself into these scenes and I would break all the time.
Oh, no.
Because I would be thinking I am this character as I'm performing, you know?
So that's not what you're supposed to do?
No. You absolutely not. You can do all this research before jumping into a role of like, okay, I'm going to play this, like in this scene, I'm going to play this like guy with the hoodie and the like,
I'm
he's
fake
the
Eminem.
swag or it's fake Eminem vibe or whatever. You can do all that prep, but then as soon as you step on set, you don't want to be like here going, I am this guy. I am this guy. I'm this guy.
Oh, I
because
see.
then all of a sudden Kevin Hart's jumping on you.
Yeah.
You did not expect that to happen. And you're in here instead of going
In your mind?
in your mind, you're stuck up here and you're like, oh my God, Kevin Hart's on me. I'm an actor and Kevin Hart just jumped on me.
And you're
This is
breaking-
hilarious. And then you're breaking and it's over. In that situation, how you hold your composure, and it's not always successful. Like I break all the time when people improv and do crazy shit, but how you hold your composure is you do all that work beforehand. I'm Eminem. I'm this
Eminem.
character, whatever. You know, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Hart jumps on you and you're putting all of your focus on Kevin Hart.
Oh.
You're not thinking of yourself. You're putting that focus on what the fuck?
Why are you
What the
on
fuck?
me right
Get the
now?
fuck off me.
Yeah.
Get the shit. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. Like, get off me.
And that's how you come
And
back.
that's how you hold it. There's also I will say internal breaks are not always external breaks. Because
Okay, yeah.
I'll be acting in some sort of sketch or whatever. On film, on stage, every sketch, when there's an improv or whatever, I will probably break internally. Like, I'm doing this, we're doing the scene, how we've rehearsed it, whatever. And then all of a sudden Kevin Hart jumps on me and there's that brief moment of like, I'm an actor, I'm playing this character, Kevin Hart jumped on me, oh my God, what do I do? How do I play this correctly?
Right.
And you just have to immediately throw that away. But it happens every time. And if you can throw it away quickly? The camera and the audience will not catch it.
Oh my
Because it's
goodness.
here and you're just like, if you just hold your face, hold your composure. Right now I'm thinking, oh shit, Kevin Hart just jumped on me. Oh shit. Okay, throw it away. Kevin Hart, get the fuck off me.
Yeah,
You know?
I love it. And that was quick. That was like less than a second.
Yeah.
Oh man.
People don't catch that.
The magic of editing. And is it in your eyes? Are your eyes telling the truth?
Eye contact is really helpful.
Check this out.
Back to the bloopers.
Hey, do you want to get dinner tomorrow night?
Laid? You were going to say laid.
Well,
That's
I
over
was
for
hoping.
you.
It is, isn't it?
I'll have dinner with you, though.
Should we?
Yeah.
Can you get me laid?
She's like, that's not the line.
Yeah, that's interesting because
Oh, here
Jim
it is.
Carrey just threw the scene out the window.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. I mean, he's Jim Carrey, but he's just like, you were about to say laid, and so in that situation, he ended the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's like
he wasn't continuing that character in that moment. He was just like, yeah, you want to get laid? I mean, dinner? You were about to say laid, which is very funny. Like the scene is over because you said the wrong line. But anyway.
all right. Here's the one.
Good night, Golden
Oh,
Jet.
here we go. So I'm like, he just Jim Carrey'd right there. He just literally that he was.
Yeah, there's another scene. Have you seen Breaking Bad? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know when Walter in like season 2, he has all this money and his guilt gets to him and he throws all the money into the fire. You remember this?
Yes.
He like throws it. He's like, I'm done with this, and he's staring at the fire and the money's burning and he catches himself. He's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then he grabs the money and
he tries to save
his
it.
hands on fire. He's like, and he throws it into the water and stuff like that. And then his sleeve catches on fire. So if you like pause that scene, you can see he's got a human-looking fire glove.
Oh, fine.
But it's moving fast enough that you can't tell.
Right.
And then he jumps in the water, and there's a blooper where the scene had ended, right? The scene's over. And as an actor, you can kind of feel that. It's like an improv. Like you can feel when the swipe,
done.
Scene is over. You can feel that in a dramatic scene. You can feel that wherever that like it's over. And then past that point, you'll have stuff like that. So in this scene with Bryan Cranston, he like comes out of the water, and his hand glove at that point had like deteriorated because of the water and the fire, and it was like melting and falling off of his real hand. And so he just like jumped in the water and like saved the money and comes out of the water. Oh my God! And then the whole crew breaks. And my point is like, yeah, The Rock did a Jim Carrey or whatever, where you know as an actor the scene is over. Like, and in that case, it wasn't over because anybody did anything wrong. It was over because lights went out. He's gone to bed. I assume that's in the film where they would cut.
Yeah.
And so he did a little add-on to add fun to the set because that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. It's not just business. It can be fun.
It can be fun. That's if you're not having fun, what are you doing? Can I tell you an example from a sketch that I did recently?
Absolutely.
So I do, in addition to Elephant Department, I also worked with Cracked, if you're familiar with that YouTube channel. We do these sketches called Blank for $20. It'll be like Game of Thrones for $20. So that's one that we did recently, and the whole bit is that we recreate a scene or like a movie trailer for $20. And so it's like all really low budget looking and jokey.
That is incredible.
They're really funny. And we did Game of Thrones for $20, and it was the Red Wedding scene. And I played Catelyn Stark.
No, not cat.
Yeah. I had cat ears on, and it was very, very silly because I don't look anything like Catelyn.
Absolutely not.
But there's the scene. She's in Game of Thrones. She's talking to Roose, and Roose is giving her a look that's like, shit's about to go down, and she's like trying to suss it out. She's like, what is happening?
Bitch, what?
And so we had a bit where I was playing Catelyn, and I would look over and I was like, oh, Roose, you've barely touched your flamed man witch. I don't really know what the joke was there, to be honest. But it was very funny, and that's the take we used. But I did an improv with the actor, a good buddy of mine, and I was like, what's wrong, Roose? You've barely touched your man meat. Because he had like just a cheap plate of just like canned meat as our dinner for this $20 sketch.
Right, because it's $20?
Because it was $20. And the actor immediately broke. And we did it like 2 or 3 times, and he broke every time.
But you were doing this voice.
Yeah, now I go, what the hell, asshole? Yeah, I was doing this voice. I tried not to do it too feminine, I suppose. Like I didn't want the joke to be that I'm a guy playing a woman.
I see.
I wanted to play Catelyn. And Catelyn has this sort of very stoic vibe to her, like, Jon Snow, how dare you?
How dare you?
You know. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the show.
Man meat.
As we said, it was for $20. Am I a good Catlin?
I think so.
Oh, thank you.
You gotta own it, baby. You gotta own it. You were great with your cat ears. You said
with cat ears.
I love it. I love it. You embodied Catelyn Stark.
I think I'm really selling your audience on watching this.
I think you are. Who doesn't want to watch a man in cat ears being sus? Is that what you said? Sussing out.
Sussing out is
the
that
situation?
What the kids say? Yeah, sussing out.
No, it is what they say. Or it's like, this is sus. So Catelyn Stark was like, this is sus.
Yeah.
You're not touching your man meat. Okay. I gotta ask you. And I used to ask a lot of people. Like, I used to ask a question at the end of the show back in the day, and I no longer ask these questions because I retired. So, what would you like more people to talk and sip about?
I'm gonna go with my gut on this one, and it's not. It's more along the serious lines.
That's okay.
Per our conversations throughout this discussion about being present and enjoying the ride, the journey is more important than the destination. Having a 5-year plan and not having it quite pan out the way that you want to.
How comedy flourishes because of tragedy.
Exactly. Exactly. We should be a more emotionally in touch society. And I feel like LA, the people that I know out here are more in touch with that. I don't know about, I don't know. I think at least just what I see on the internet, maybe it's just fear mongering. I'm not sure, but there's a hesitancy to have these deeper conversations about your emotions and like about the trauma that you're experiencing. There's a lot of fear, understandably, that like you're not in a safe environment to talk through these things. And I feel very grateful that I have some good friends that I can like talk about these things with them. But I think also therapy, like go to therapy, because there is so much benefit to paying someone to be objective in your life. Who's not involved. They're paid to listen to your whatever. I was going to say the word bullshit, but it isn't bullshit. It's like what you're experiencing. It's what you're experiencing. It's your life. And even with friends, I think that there's always going to be a line, like maybe not. Maybe you have amazing friends who will like listen through all of your stuff, but having someone that you can check in with like every couple of weeks and just dump everything onto is so freeing. So if you don't have therapy accessible, try and find that close group of friends, and maybe even just pull your friend aside and say like, hey, can I talk to you about this seriously? Like I'm feeling this way and I don't really know what to do about it, and I just need to talk to somebody about it. And I'm not even necessarily looking for advice.
Yeah, or
perhaps.
solution.
Yeah, establishing that too. Like, I think there's also this anxiety of like you're putting pressure on the other person, or the other person is like, oh man, like this has happened to me when somebody's coming to me with some sort of issue or whatever they're experiencing, and I'm like, man, how do I fix this for them? I want to help them.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't need the help. Sometimes people just need
someone to listen. Because
they just need to soundboard. They just need to put it out there.
Yep.
And once it's out, then. Yeah.
And it's out and it's clear.
Yeah.
It helps bring clarity, and it's like not just chaos in your mind, in a cave, if you will, of thoughts, right? And then that friend, just by listening, it's like you can also read body language, I feel, when you're expressing yourself to people.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, again, physical comedy is sometimes a lot more funny than stand-up comedy for that same reason, because you're not being told something, you're interpreting that expression, that physical expression. So when you can find people in a safe environment and a good safety network of people who love you, who are unconditional to you, but also like will keep it real with you, even if it is that moment where you're like venting and you're like, hey, and just I'm gonna put it out there that I'm not looking for a solution right now because I'm not in a place to solve this right now.
Yeah.
But if you could just listen to me, and if you have the emotional bandwidth to take my dump right now, my emotional dump, then I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, honestly, like they'll listen to you, and I've had it happen personally, where it's like their body's reacting to what I'm saying, and that sometimes is like something it's palatable. It's something that you can take with you later, and you're like, did kind of twitch a little. So maybe this isn't the course of action in this said area.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're not the right person too. Like if you might be able to read that their bandwidth isn't wide enough.
Yeah.
But also too, if you're in that position where somebody's coming to you with their trauma or whatever that they need to dump, I think a really good tool as well, if you're feeling that kind of like, what do I do here? Like, I want to be good to my friend, but I don't know if I have the bandwidth to take this or help them or whatever. There's 3 things that you can ask, or one thing you ask surrounding 3 things. You would say, if you're coming to me and you are,
let's do it.
Okay, sure, come to me. Yeah.
Dylan,
Hey, what's up?
I'm not feeling so hot right now.
Okay.
I did some things I'm not very proud of.
You want to talk about it?
I would. Do you have the space to talk about it?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. Can I ask you something though? Can I ask you something? Yeah. Do you want me to listen? Do you want space? Do you want? Well, I guess you just said you wanted to talk about it, so maybe that question doesn't apply. Let's rewind. Hey, we're still learning. Do you want me to give you advice, or do you want me to just listen?
How about both?
Okay, or we can.
I'm just kidding. That's gonna make it impossible.
No, but I think that's maybe. I mean, we're troubleshooting this, right? So maybe let's rewind. Let's rewind. Yeah, sure. What's going on?
I killed somebody last night. I hit them. I was drunk driving. I'm just kidding. I'm turning this. No, but in all seriousness,
that's beyond. It's beyond my advice.
That's beyond my listening capabilities without advising. But yes, definitely, if you have a safety network, make sure people are emotionally available, but also talk about it. Talk to someone, go to therapy. I know therapy used to be taboo and kind of expensive, but now it's affordable. There's different resources. You pay taxes. You get Medicare,
should be
get
more
therapy,
affordable.
Do it. But yeah, definitely be okay with vulnerability. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and if you're feeling in the moment an uncertainty, express that as well. If you're having that conversation with somebody, and for our example, our fantastic example that we just did, you're trying to express something, and I go, well, okay, sure, tell me what's going on in your life, and then they tell you what's going on in your life. And in that moment that you're kind of like, okay, what do I do next? Do they need something from me? Ask that. Like, you don't sit in the dark in your mind of all the possibilities, as we were talking about earlier, of like mapping out, okay, like I just want to say the right thing. We always just want to say the right thing.
And it's not about saving face or whatever.
No.
It's about like just
taking action,
and yep.
People will forgive you if you it's more important to take action, and people will, if you say the wrong thing and you say, well, I did my best.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
All right. Thank you so much for chilling with me, dude.
Absolutely. This is great.
Yay. Okay, guys. So as we come to a close of the show, I just want to say thank you to Sent to Destroy Studios and Chris Bonifay for having me on. Creative producer Joshua Taylor for helping me with setting up all the time and telling me, babe, that does not work. That was a trash gag. Extra equipment. The reason we can see Dylan today is because of Ted Lee Jones. Thank you so much, Ted. You rock. Visual graphics that you see on social media. Erica Yella, you're the real one. And to my beautiful guest here, Dillon Stewart, for being here and telling us a little bit and giving us insight into your world of comedic acting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you for having me. This was such a blast. Thank you for taking my podcast virginity. Pop that podcast cherry.
I'm just racking them up. I'm racking them up. And last but not least, by any means, thank you, the listeners, for tuning in every week. Make sure to become a patron subscriber, as we're doing something a little bit different. Before, we would have extra content for you guys, but now it's for everybody, so everyone can see. But the Patreon subscribers, you sign up for $5, and we pretty much do something really cool and really neat with you guys. Okay, make sure to follow Dillon at Still Do. And
yes.
Do you want to plug anything else?
Follow my sketch comedy team at Elephant Department on Instagram. I'm also on Twitch at Still Do. I'm playing games. I've been playing games for my whole life. We didn't talk about that at all, but I love to play games, so I just started doing Twitch. Follow me at Still Do.
get your streaming yummy games. No, get your streaming. What's a good adjective?
Yummy games.
Okay, get your yummy games on. Dillon, he's like, that's it.
That's
yummy.
it. No, actually, I'm going to say that every time now on
He's
stream.
like, thanks for
That's my
coming
thing.
on to my Yummy Games episode. Don't forget to follow the pod at Talks and Sips, TALKSN. Oh my God, that was hard. At TALKSNSIPS. Wow, I hesitated. And myself at Jayfoxx with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in. Say, wow, that episode was awful. Or, hey, I really like Dillon. He's so nice. Make him come back. And at talksandsips@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Yes, you. I love learning new info, so bring it. Also, message the pod on Insta if you want some merch. We got hats, baby. And check out the website for more info at talksandsips.com. I am Jayfoxx, and you are?
Dillon Stewart.
And we'll see you guys later. All right.
Bye.
Bye.